I mean, it's just I think Islam Makhachev is a better version of Bilal. I think his striking on the feet is I think it's more. I even think it's easier. The striking on the feet, I think it's easier than Bilal because he'll stay in one stance. He's more traditional style.
Then he goes in believing that, because when he gets in there with Islam, you're gonna find out a whole different story. Because I'm sorry, they're completely different, and by no means is Islam an easy for anybody to understand. That any MMA fighter.
He's a little bit different, and he can give Islam some problems for that. And he can crack too, man. So like that's gonna give Islam some problems. He's a bigger guy that can crack. That if Islam can't hold him down, it's gonna be a problem.
All eyes are in UFC 322 as Jack Della Maddalena vows to make his toughest challenge look easier than anyone imagined. Jack Della Maddalena isn't shy about how he sees his next fight, calling parts of the matchup easier than ever has grabbed attention because the man across the cage is Islam Makhachev, the lightweight king that many rate as the best fighter on the planet. The Australian welterweight champ knows the risk, yet he talks like someone who's already drawing up a map for victory.
Big respect coming from Islam's team going into this one, and Khabib even acknowledged that he started following JDM a while back, knowing that potentially he'd be fighting Islam.
You know, they've got to this level because they know the sport and they know the game, and Islam and his team have the utmost respect for Jack, as we do for them. Islam is a phenomenal fighter. He's pound for pound #1 in the world. He's made light work of just about everybody that's ever gone before him. The respect is mutual, and Jack's always asked me for the toughest fights he can possibly have. Jack does better the higher up of the standard is. You know, he raises his game to the level that he's fighting against, and I really believe that everyone's going to see the best version of Jack.
Not long after winning his belt, Jack sat down with reporters back home and gave a clear read on the challenge. He admitted it's a huge test, but he also sees one key thing working in his favor. When he fought Belal Muhammad, he had to track constant stance switches and small. With Islam, he doesn't expect that same chaos. Makhachev stands in a more steady, traditional style, and that makes the boxing exchanges feel simpler to read. To Jack, Islam is a better version of Belal overall, but less unpredictable on the feet, which opens windows for the crisp hands he's known for.
I mean, it's just I think Islam Makhachev is a better version of Belal. I think his striking on the feet is I think it's more. I even think it's easier. The striking on the feet, I think it's easier than Belal because he'll stay in one stance. He's more traditional style. But yeah, he's the pound for pound #1, so it's a tough fight. But I guess we'll just watch all these fights again, make a solid game plan, and then just start working at it. From pretty much now, I'm going to start working on ways to beat him, different ways to get back to my feet, stuff in the takedown. But I'm pretty confident I can get this one done.
Even months away, Jack started plotting his camp. His first move was a trip to Wollongong to link up with Alexander Volkanovski, the featherweight great who came within a breath of dethroning Makhachev at UFC 284. Spending time with someone who has already spent 25 hard minutes in the cage with Islam is priceless. Volk can show where the Dagestani champion is strongest and where there's room to create space, and Jack sees that as an early edge.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely plan. After the last 2 fights, I've spent a bit of time in Wollongong, so yeah, I think probably be the first stop. We go to Wollongong, talk to Volk, see what he reckons.
And the BJJ master who you had in his corner, Jones, as well. How's his relationship with him, and how did he help you with this fight?
Yeah, he's a legend. You know, he's obviously a master grappler. He's helped Volk out a lot, and yeah, just small details he's just helped us with, pretty much. Just small details that make a big difference. I think he definitely helped me a lot, and yeah, he'll help out. Obviously, he's prepared for Islam twice. Helped Volk out, I believe, that first fight to really stifle his strong suit, which is the grappling. So
on the other side, Islam's camp isn't taking on any of this lightly. Coach Javier Mendez has worked with countless top lightweights, but he keeps repeating the same thing: Islam is the strongest of them all. The way he squeezes, the way he pins people, Mendez swears there's no one close in raw power. That strength he believes will matter against a naturally bigger welterweight.
Then he goes in believing that, because when he gets in there with Islam, you're going to find out a whole different story. Because I'm sorry, they're completely different, and by no means is Islam an easy easy for anybody on the stand-up. Any MMA fighter that's a striker, that's not going to have an easy time with him. I've been with this kid like going on 11 years of watching him just destroy everybody on the stand-up, guys that are much better stand-up than him, and he still destroys them. So no, don't go by what you see. When you get in there with that man, it's a whole different ballgame.
Still, Mendes respects Jack more than most. It's rare for him to watch hours of tape on an opponent, yet for Jack he's doing exactly that. He calls the Australian a puzzle and insists this fight can be treated like any other. He's even sent a warning: if Jack walks in thinking Islam's striking will be easy, reality inside the cage will hit differently. The timing, the pressure, the sneaky counters are things no highlight reel can fully show.
I think the biggest thing on our side is he's very, very strong. Very strong. So, yes, he's super, super strong. Out of all my lightweights, he is the strongest one out of all of them. I don't recall one lightweight stronger than him. Not even close. He's the strongest. So out of everybody I have, he's the guy that has the best opportunity to be able to handle the strength of the bigger guys.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
I never watched tape by Islam. I never. This is the first time because I respect this guy that much, and he's a puzzle. He's not that easy. I'm telling you, he's not that easy. So you know, we'll get him. I believe we'll get him, but he's not that easy. And I have to be confident that we'll get him, because if I don't believe that I'll get him, then what's the point of watching the videos, right? We can't get him. No, we'll get him. We'll get him. It's just very difficult because he's so damn good.
He leans toward Jack's sharper hands and composure. More than anything, he frames it as a mindset. Jack steps in with nothing to lose, while Islam carries the pressure of protecting his pound-for-pound throne.
I think Jack has that X factor. I think he has the gut, the grit, the determination to fight the takedowns, to fight the ground, the takedown attacks that Islam is going to go for. And I think in a striking fight, straight up, Jack is better. I think he wins in the hands. Yeah. I think Jack's got the better game to strike over 5 rounds than Islam does as well, especially if Islam is trying to go for takedowns during the fight. Yeah. I think, and this is people sleep on Jack's grappling game. They sleep on his jiu-jitsu. I don't think Islam is going to be as gun-ho with the takedowns as everybody believes, because Jack has that level of offense off his back.
Michael Bisping, who's now calling fights for the UFC, has his eyes on the betting lines. Oddsmakers list Islam as a heavy favorite, but Bisping calls that disrespectful. Jack's on an 18-fight win streak, just handled Bilal's wrestling and owned some of the cleanest boxing in the division. Bilal was basically the perfect warm-up for a fight like this, Bisping says. And if Islam stands and trades, Jack's counters can change the night in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight, because the crazy thing is that Islam Makhachev is quite a sizable favorite according to DraftKings, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure I saw that online earlier this morning. And I think that's a little bit disrespectful to Jack Della Maddalena. The man's on an 18-fight winning streak. He just beat Belal Muhammad. He defended all the takedowns there. He's beaten grapplers before in the past. Yes, Islam Makhachev is incredible, and he'd be another contender for pound #1, greatest of all time, whatever you want to call it. But Belal Muhammad was a perfect warm-up fight for Islam Makhachev. And with the boxing of Jack, if Islam was to stand with him, that'd be a bad idea. With Jack's boxing and the footwork that is associated with boxing.
Other fighters see it too. Sean Brady, who trains with Jack, praises how hard he is to hold down. Big frame, slick scrambles, heavy punches. In his view, Islam's in for a tougher test than many expect. The fighter admits he personally hopes Islam wins for legacy reasons, but strictly on style, he gives Jack a real shot.
I think it's a lot tougher of a fight for Islam than people are giving Jack credit for. Jack's very hard to hold down. He's a big body, hits like a freight train, has knockout power, and he showed you can getting someone down doesn't mean dick. Can you hold them down? Jack's really good at creating scrambles, getting back to his feet, separating hands. We've seen that with Bilal. Gilbert did better at taking Jack down than Bilal did. He had better positions on him, but yeah, I don't know. Selfishly for me, I would want Islam to win because I want to fight Islam as for a legacy thing. And I think I can beat Islam. I think I can beat anybody in the world. And I want to grapple. I want my grappling to go against his grappling. And
Colby Covington looks at it differently, saying Islam favored 3-1 makes sense to him. He worries Jack's takedown defense might still have gaps and expects Islam's all-around game to be enough. Colby does respect Jack's boxing and thinks the fight will be fun to watch, but he sticks with the proven record.
Islam versus JDM. What do you make of that? Islam moving up to now welterweight.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight. I'm excited to see how it goes. You know, Islam, is a lightweight. He's going to be a little smaller in the fight, but he's a well-rounded fighter. So, if he's able to take down JDM and control him, he could definitely get the job done. But it's going to be interesting to see how the size advantage plays a difference in the fight.
Who do you favor?
I mean, I seen the odds were pretty big. They favored Makhachev like 3-1. So I guess I got to go with the odds if they're going 3-1. But just because JDM doesn't have good takedown defense, but you never know. It's a fight, and JDM has some good hands, so it should be an exciting fight for the fans.
Back and forth, the predictions go. One side loves Jack's stance rating, the Volkanovski connection and Craig Jones' fingerprints on the camp. The other leans on Islam's brutal strength, top control and years of shutting down elite strikers. Odds say Makhachev. Recent form says don't count out Jack.
JDM don't wrestle, but he was defending well, and he puts damage on you.
Off rip.
Starts putting damage on you, and he can box.
So how do you see that fight with him and Islam? Does he have the ability to beat a guy like Islam?
He'll get takedown attempts coming at him very early. This time. The last fight, he didn't have to deal with that when he was fresh. If Islam can start to pressure him early and take him down early, or even just make him wrestle, he might struggle. I don't know that he's ever felt anything like he's going to feel, because it's not going to be double legs and single leg with Islam. It's going to be him playing with his feet, tripping him, moving around on the octagon side, doing things that he don't recognize as freely.
But she didn't answer the question.
The problem is, I can only give you that because I can't truly make a prediction. The job doesn't allow it.
For Jack, the outside noise doesn't change his approach. He's keeping it simple, revisit every second of Islam's fights, sharpen defenses with Vulcan Jones, and rehearse the timing until it feels automatic. Saying parts of this fight will be easier than ever isn't arrogance in his eyes, it's a reflection of hours spent seeing where the shots might land. Islam, meanwhile, prepares like always. Sessions stack up, sparring partners rotate, and Mendes keeps repeating his mantra. He's stronger than anyone. The team sees Jack's boxing but trusts their champion's habits. The relentless pressure, the hips welded to the mat, the common scrambles. To them, no talk changes what will happen when the cage door locks.
What are you doing to become a welterweight? Like, are you bulking up? Are you getting stronger? Are you just going to cut less weight? How is this going to work?
It's not easy, man. All my life I cut weight, but now when I want to be big, my weight is stay same position, I try to lift more. We do some program and slowly we bring some maybe 2 kg right now. It's very hard, but I don't want to be big by food, eating and not training. I want to be with muscle, I want to training, do a right lifting program and bring some muscle.
No matter where fans stand, both men bring enough weapons to win. Islam's grinding control, punishing top game, and improved striking have broken almost everyone. Jack's accuracy, timing, and quiet toughness have carried him through war after war, and one misstep could flip the fight instantly.
Bilal, he was the 170 champ. Islam's the 155 champ. They're very, very close in their abilities. This isn't like Islam's going to walk up to 170 and just walk through Jack Della Maddalena.
Win or lose, Jack has already set the tone. Framing the bout as a problem he can solve shows a calm confidence rare at this level. Islam carries the weight of a champion who has answered every question but knows there's always a new one waiting. When the bell rings, the talk fades, and only skill, grit, and timing decide whether the pound-for-pound king keeps the crown or a patient Australian makes good on his promise that parts of this fight really will feel easier than ever.
Yeah, problem with the wrestling, but now he's improved because I see he training a lot with the wrestlers, with the grapplers, and that's why he's a champion right now and he's good everywhere. But we will see who is the best fighter in the world. It's the best time, I was waiting for Tsarukyan because he have also very good win streak and people waiting for this fight. He was pulled out in the last fight and I don't see some interesting fight in my division. That's why I will make decision to move up because now they have new champion, and a very good fighter, Della Maddalena, and fight make me training every day, make me wake up early morning.
What's certain is both arrive with proven grit, Jack's rise, grinding through regional shows, perfecting crisp hands, silencing doubters, has built a mental callus. Islam's reign, stitched from smothering rounds and unbroken composure, defines inevitability. When they collide, the clash is more than technique. It's two mindsets daring the other to blink first.
I've seen Islam, bro. He's a big guy. He's sucking out a lot of weight to get to 55. I think he might start doing better at 70. Problem is though, Jack is special. We're gonna see just how special he is if he beats Islam Jack, #1 pound for. Wow, that's impressive. You know, I'm leaning towards Islam, brother.
Oh, really?
You know, but I really think it's gonna be a tough fight for him, but a great fight, man.
Jack was able to defend takedown attempts by Bilal.
Bilal has the best cardio in MMA, but Bilal doesn't have Islam's technique. Not same technique. Not same. Very good, very aggressive. Bilal never stops a dog. Attack. But Islam is like smart, man. Boom. You know.
Whether Jack truly finds openings easier than ever or discovers that simplicity masks deeper traps, the audience wins. This fight is layered, uncertain, and alive with possibilities. Champions invite risk to stay great, contenders embrace danger to rewrite ceilings, and on fight night, the talk fades and two men carry years of work into a cage where nothing is guaranteed and every second counts.
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, you know, but people be sleeping on Jack, you know what I mean? And I think Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and I think people is going to find out when that match happens. I don't know. I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's going to be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack for I don't know what reason. They just keep counting him out. Kind of reminds me of when I was like coming up and counting me out about certain fights. So, I mean, he is, you know, he's the #2 pound for pound in the world right now, but he's the #2 pound for pound in the world for a reason, so you got to respect that. But, you know, don't sleep on Jack. I think it's going to be a tough and fun fight.
Don't just hear about it after the bell. Be there when history swings. Subscribe to Ring Rivalry now for deep fight week coverage, expert breakdowns, and instant post-fight reactions.